Welcome to the Diary of a Christian Single Woman, where you hear her innermost thoughts and prayers while also hearing the Lord's response in return. Sit back and relax, grab your journal and pen, pour you a cup of coffee or tea, and go on this journey to self-discovery and growth in the Lord. It's time to spill the tea. Hello, sisters. This week's podcast has been one that I hear varied answers on, and of course, I know my answers, but let's talk about it. Say you have an interest in someone and it's mutual. You begin the usual quote-unquote talking stage, then progress to going out on dates to continue getting to know one another. He asked to be exclusive, so now you're in an official relationship. How long would you wait before you think you should be proposed to? I see this question circling around different singles groups I'm in, and y'all know I'm a comments girl, so I'm always interested in the answers. I see answers like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, etc. However, what I have come to learn is that this varies from person to person and relationship to relationship, right? I have seen where a couple has been together for 4 to 5 years, but he never proposes. They break up, he gets with the next woman, and then proposes to that woman within 6 months. Like, why is that? I don't know why they do that. What makes a man wait around for that long to propose to someone? And then what makes a woman wait around for that long to be proposed to, I've also heard stories where the man knew right away and they would get engaged within 3 months of, officially dating. And so as this debate keeps picking up steam, my only answer to this is that it really just depends on the couple and what they're ready to do at that time. The longevity of the relationship before proposal typically will fall on the woman to decide. I don't know if y'all know that. Like, this is when she starts to ask him the question, so what are we doing? I'm sure that the circumstances of life may play a part, such as someone needing to find a job, or maybe someone needs to move to be closer to the other. Someone just had an unexpected financial hardship, or, they may have had kids first and they're focused on them. Like, you just never know why this particular situation would occur. But I would encourage you ladies to really know who you are and know what you want out of a relationship. If it's your desire to get married within a certain amount of time, then make that intention known from the jump. I once had a guy ask me, how long did I want to wait before I would expect a proposal? And I was actually quite taken aback that a man asked me that, right? But it forced me to really think about what my desires were in that area. And then, if all things being equal, and I was able to clearly articulate my answer. That way he knew that if he wanted to pursue things further with me, then he would need to be able to put a ring on it within a certain time frame. And then it was his turn to decide if that was something that he could or was willing or wanting to do. And so I am definitely not placing judgment on those who wait for years, because some even wait in the double digits, because you never know people's circumstances. But if you know that once you are in a serious relationship with a person that you think could be the one for you, that you desire a proposal in 6 months to a year, then make it known. What's the saying? What do they say? They say closed mouths don't get fed, right? Like, that's what they say. So I think that if it isn't communicated early on, then you run the risk of the relationship being dragged out due to comfortability on your part or on his part. If you're both so used to being around one another all the time, you may even live together, then there may not be the allure to wife you up. I mean, again, barring no unseen circumstances, if he can't step up to the plate, then you can either continue to work with him, that's your decision, or find someone who will step up to the plate. So take a moment and really think about this. What would your ideal time frame be, and are you comfortable enough to really share it? So I'll be honest here. I'll be transparent. At first, I wasn't willing to really share it because I thought that it would scare the man off. You know, if I said, this is my expectation, then I felt that, you know, they would be like, oh, no, and just dip out. And I'm like, at this point, cool. Like, if you dip out, cool. You know, at first, I felt that if I just let the relationship go with the flow, then that the man would eventually get it right and like do right with me without me having to nag him about it or give him an ultimatum. You know, if you don't put a ring on me by this time, I'm out. Like, I didn't want to do that. And so as I'm getting older, one of the things that I'm really settling into is communicating my expectations. And that's something that I never really did before. And so I used to be a supervisor on my job, on one of my previous jobs. And so I noticed that I never had problems communicating my work expectations to my employees. But when it came to my personal life, I would be mute. Like, where'd they do that at? In my mind, I expected things a certain way and just knew that the person would know. So I never voiced it. But of course, because I didn't voice it, the expectations weren't met, and then I would be disappointed. So I really had to learn how to open my mouth and speak what I desire to others. So when that guy asked me that question, I was finally able to say, this is what I desire, and be confident in that fact and not shy away from it. And I have to admit, like, it felt really good for me to do something out of my comfort zone, but that boldness allowed me to open up in other areas that I didn't even know that I needed. And so hopefully I can't be the only one out there. I know I'm not the only one out there. So if there is another woman out there like me who is just kind of finding their voice concerning relationships, just know that you can do it. Like, if you have a certain time frame that you would like to see your relationship move in, don't be afraid to voice it. If your expectations scare that man away, then he wasn't for you to begin with. And that's okay. You know, be strong in your wants, your needs, and your extras. All right. Like, we desire to be confident women who will not settle for less than God's best for us. It can be uncomfortable, and, you know, hard conversations are usually uncomfortable, but they are totally necessary. And so I think that there is nothing like a woman who knows what she wants out of life, what she needs, and then puts feet to the pavement to see it happen. You know, so how long should you wait before you want to see progression in your relationship? Sis, that's totally up to you. Thank you for listening to the Confessions of a Christian Single Woman podcast. Remember, ladies, that God loves you immensely. There are no bounds or restrictions to his love. Always seek his face, hear his voice, and live his word out loud. If you have any questions that you would like to hear addressed on the podcast, you can DM us on our Instagram page, Confessions of a Christian Single Woman, or on the private Facebook group, Confessions of a Christian Single Woman. Also, make sure you follow on the private Facebook for Confessions of a Christian Single Woman, as I go live in there every Monday night at 7 p.m. to continue the discussion. Until next time, may the peace of the Lord go with you this week.